Hello everyone, I'm Dennis McCarthy. Welcome once again to Inside Olean General Hospital, our news and information program about the events, people, and services from Olean General. This is a special segment from Olean General and Bradford Regional Medical Center talking about our Community Connections program. You know, it's the spring-summer season now and things are in full swing, and we have a number of programs that address community health issues across the summer and then some very special things that we do for the fall. Our managers and employees spend a lot of time volunteering in the community outside of their roles at the hospitals to make these programs happen. We're going to be talking to some of these folks in just a second, right here in this chair, about some of the great things that are going on around the area. We'll be back with our first guest in just a second. And we're back. You know, summertime, of course, talk about pools and summer safety and people going to beaches. And one of the things that our Community Connections program is involved with this year and in past years is sun safety. And here to talk about it with us is Sandy McFarland. Now, before we talk about sun safety, what is your job with the Upper Allegheny Health System?
Thank you, Dennis. I am the System Director of Rehab Services for Upper Allegheny Health System, which includes physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and cardiac rehab.
And you are the point person for our summer sun safety program. Now, we just had our pool sessions over the last few weeks, but you know, skin issues and summer safety with regard to the sun is important all summer long. So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, where we were this summer with regard to our pool program.
Well, for the last 4 years, we have done the sun safety program in Olean and in Bradford. And we go to the Callahan Pool in Bradford, Bancroft Pool at Callahan Park. We also go in Olean to the William O. Smith Rec Center pool, as well as Franschott wading pool. And then this year, we also include the Smethport pool in Smethport as well. And then this year we also added the Machias Community Pool, which is the first time that we've been there.
That's new, that's a little north.
Yep, that's a little bit north.
Up near Delavan. And,
so we actually have been able to go to 5 pools this year.
That's great, and so this program's been running for several years now. It's been a big success. And we hand out sunscreen to all the kids, right?
Yeah, we actually hand the sunscreen out. We hand out packets of sunscreen to the parents, as well as we hand out a flyer of sun safety tips to the parents to encourage them to use safe and precautions when they're in the sun.
Great, and I know it's been appreciated. And again, we'll be running that program next summer, but there's a lot of summer left, and people are out at the beaches. So let's just take a couple of minutes to talk about concerns, about sun concerns and things that people maybe not often think about.
Well, what's really important to understand is that skin cancer is the most common cause or the most common form of cancer in the U.S. And actually, each year, more cases of skin cancer combined. There'll be more cases of skin cancer combined than breast, prostate, lung, and colon cancer. 1 in 5 Americans each year will be diagnosed with skin cancer. So it is very, very important that we take precaution. And skin cancer there's a lot that you can do to help prevent it. The major risk factor is the ultraviolet radiation that is caused by the sunshine as well as tanning beds. Okay. So one of the things that we're doing with our sun safety program is encouraging people in ways that they can help prevent this ultraviolet radiation. We provide them a form of a brochure that tells them how they can protect themselves against the sun. And some of those things are, for example, to avoid the sun during the most bright times of the harshest sunlight. Those times are between 10 and 4 in the day. Those are when the sun is at its strongest and the ultraviolet rays are at their strongest.
Right.
We also encourage people that when they are out in the sun that they use sunscreen. They should use a broad spectrum UVA, UVB sunscreen, which is the packets that we provide. And they should have at least an SPF, which is a sun protection factor of 15 or higher when they're in the sun.
There's a lot of numbers on those sunscreens.
Correct.
You know, anywhere from 4 to 8, and I've seen 8 in an oil, which you kind of wonder about. You're putting oil on your body and it says an SPF 8, so 15 or higher.
15 or higher, and 15 is good, 15 or 30. Sometimes people get they can go up to 75 or 80. The important thing is that they put on at least 1 ounce or 2 tablespoons of sunscreen, and they should put the sunscreen on 30 minutes before you go out into the sun. So it's important that you put that sunscreen on before you're exposed, and it should be to all areas that are exposed to the sun. And then that should be reapplied.
It washes off.
It does wash off. Even though sunscreen, you can have some sunscreen that says that it's waterproof.
Right.
If you do go swimming or you sweat a lot, for example, because it's hot or because you're participating in sports, you should reapply the sunscreen because that's important that you reapply it and that you reapply it throughout the day because sunscreen does not last over a long period of time.
And how about wearing hats? That's a common sense way to avoid the sun in covering up.
Yes, it's also important that when you're going to be exposed onto the sun that you actually wear some type of coverage. So a hat, especially if you're don't have a lot of hair, but also to cover your eyes and your face to wear a hat. But other things like wear long pants or wear a long sleeve shirt. And many manufacturers are actually producing lightweight cotton clothing that are light and breathable, but provide sun protection without causing you to overheat. So there's a lot of clothing out there that are providing the sun protection without making it too hot to wear.
So I guess to kind of wrap it up a little bit, as much as we love the sun, we have to be careful with it.
It's important to be able to use common sense while you're out there. It's important to seek the shade or stay out of the sun during the brightest, hottest times during the day. It's important to use sunscreen and keep it with you. The packets that we provide at the pool, although they're not enough to use all summer long, they're a good size, and many of the people who participate in the sunscreen that we provide are very happy because they fit nicely in a purse or they fit nicely in a sports bag. So they work well, and I've had a lot of people comment to me that they take them and they use them for when those times when they forget to take them. They go play soccer or they're sitting out at their children's football game or their children's soccer game and they forgot to bring their sunscreen. Okay. So those things are important.
There. Did we miss anything?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, this is another great segment of our community relations program. Again, our managers, directors, all volunteer for this kind of work, and it's great work out there in the community, and we thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much, Dennis.
Have a great summer.
Thank you. You too.
We'll be back in a minute. And we are back. Again, this is part of our Community Connections program, a special presentation for this month's program to talk about the many ways that our hospital managers, department people, and staff are involved with community work. With me now is Darren Shanley. Darren, I want you to tell everybody what you do at the hospital, and then we'll talk about the other thing that you're doing for the community.
Okay. I am a clinical supervisor at cardiopulmonary. I've been a respiratory therapist for 25 years. We care for all the respiratory distress, asthma patients, COPD patients, what have you.
So you know a thing or two about asthma because you spent sounds like a whole lifetime talking about or dealing with it professionally.
Yes.
Well, we have a nice program that we've been doing, again, both in Bradford and in Olean for the kids. And we can talk about that a little bit in a moment, but it's called the Super Puff Asthma Camp.
Yes.
And this is something that you and the other staff members have been offering to the community. Could you talk a little bit about the program and how it works and who goes there and what happens?
Yes, we have been carrying out this camp for 3 years now, since 2012. We have children ages 8 to 12 that attend it. We train them about their respiratory disease, asthma, different triggers. We teach them about treatment.
And it's done not just in like a class, or you have fun doing this, don't you?
Yes,
activities?
we do carry it out at the park, Franchise Park in Olean here. And the kids come and we have some food for them. We supply food. We supply some games. We teach them how to make a model of a lung out of balloons and cup.
Learning experience for them, right?
Yes, it is. We make it a lot of fun.
And asthma for kids can be scary, can it?
Yes,
I know
it
it's
can.
scary for the parents. Having an asthmatic in my own home, I know sometimes it can cause a lot of anxiety. So it's really about managing it properly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the better the asthma is managed, the better that the child has a quality of life.
And it makes life easier for everyone.
Yes.
So you have the camp. You're out there at the picnic grounds. When are the events going to be held this year?
On the Bradford side, they happen on August 13th from 3P to 6P.
And that's at Callahan Park?
Yes. And to register, the number over there is 814-362-8268. And on the Olean side, it's going to happen on August 20th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that is at Franchot Park here in Olean. To register for that session, it is area code 716-375-6160.
That's great. Is there anything else that the kids, you have an opportunity now to talk a little bit about asthma with kids, anything that they should know about it, how to manage it better, or what parents can know about asthma?
Yes. Asthma is a disease that causes inflammation of the airways, which cause a narrowing, and that is what causes the child to become short of breath. You know, when they have this inflammation, it also causes a mucus buildup in the airways, which causes difficulty for the child. We teach the children and the parents, you know, what the inflammatory process is. We teach them both how to identify when they're starting to have an onset so that they can get treatment as soon as possible to help relieve it to prevent a exacerbation of the disease. Also, we teach them about their medications, what the proper treatment is, whether it be a rescue inhaler to also maintenance medications.
There's a lot involved. What triggers an asthma attack?
There's many different triggers. There's environmental, you know, you could have grass, trees, different pollens, dust, dust mites, cockroach dander. You know, you could have different perfumes and what have you. There's asthma-induced, there's exercise-induced asthma, which is an onset when a child starts to exercise or when they're running around playing.
That's interesting, but and I was curious because I kind of asked that question because it's been a very active allergy season, and I don't know if has that had a play into asthma at all, because of the sensitivity to all the pollen and everything out there. Have you folks seen any change or an uptick, an increase in asthma issues with regard to this kind of a heavy season that we've been having?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have seen an increase. We usually do around the springtime, summertime, and also in the fall when the leaves on the trees are turning.
Kicks up again.
Yes.
Well, that's great. Well, again, thank you for doing this great work. And again, if you have any questions, you can visit our website, and we'll give you that information at the end of the show. But once again, Darren, thank you for doing the work, and good luck with the asthma camp this year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back again. And we're back, again, talking about our Community Connections program, our volunteer program, basically, for managers and staff who have done some really extra special things for the community. And it's a summertime event, a springtime event. And we're going to talk about a brand new activity that we just held at both Bradford and Olean. We have with us Cindy Wickstrom from the Emergency Department and Tom Sampson from the Emergency Department at Olean General Hospital. And they brought a friend with them, and the friend's name is Buddy. And this program is called Buddy's First Visit. And I'm going to have you two talk a little bit about what happened over at Olean and in Bradford with the emergency room and the kids. But we had an event there on May 15th at Bradford Regional Medical Center, and on June 3rd and 4th at Olean General Hospital. Who's Buddy and what's going on?
Go ahead.
Well, what we did was we created a program for the kindergarten children to come in and to bring their buddy, which is their best friend. That's a stuffed animal, a doll, whatever their buddy is, and to bring them in so that they can see the ER in a non-threatening environment.
Since this was our first year, we just invited the kids from Washington West School here in Olean, the kindergarten classes from there, to come over to kind of help us learn about the program ourselves and how we could best do it. I think we had just over 90 students come through for the program, and we had a great time.
I saw the pictures, and we're going to see some of those during our segment here, and it looked like everybody had a ball. But it really had a point and a purpose to it, didn't it?
It did. We wanted to make the kids' first contact with the ER one that we could teach them, one that we could set their minds at ease. And so in the unfortunate event that they had to make a real visit to the emergency room, they might know a little bit about what to expect, and that they wouldn't be as scared.
And maybe ease the fear a little bit, because I know people see so much television and all these TV shows about, and I guess it would be enough to scare the pants off of folks, especially little kids. So Did you have a good time with this, Cindy?
Oh, it was a great time.
Did you?
We had a very good time. Kids actually knew a lot. They answered a lot of questions, and they loved playing with the bears and the boards that we had.
They learned something there too. I saw pictures of our physicians down there too. They were engaged with the kids too as well.
Right, Drs. Lamoth and Dr. Cosgrove were both active in working with one of the stations with the backboards. One of our nurses' friends was able to make some backboards for us and some crutches so that we had some props to help keep the kids' interest, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Did any of the kids ask any odd questions, or did they throw you any curveballs?
We had, whenever you have a group of young children and you hear stories about, my aunt, my uncle, I knew somebody, that came. We had bears, but we also had a few snakes come through, stuffed snakes.
But thank you.
As animals that we had to deal with. So never a dull moment.
So you chalk this one up to be a pretty good success, I guess.
Yeah, the kids had a great time.
And
The
the
teachers had a good time. The staff loved it.
Did they? They had a great
Yes.
time too. I think it's great that again, thank you and the rest of the staff for really going out there and asking and volunteering to do this kind of stuff. It really has a community benefit, as do all the programs that we're doing in our summer. What I call now the summer series, our community connections program. Is there anything else you want to add?
I think we had a really good time. We look forward next year to expanding it to some of the other classes, both in Olean and the surrounding areas.
Yep.
It was really embraced by the staff, and I think it's something that will really go on in the future.
Well, Cindy, before we leave, I want to see you put the cast on Buddy, because that's after all what we're supposed to be teaching the kids. Now, if there are any kids out there watching the show, this is Buddy's cast.
This is Buddy's cast. Ours are a little different than what we do. It just goes on like that.
And he looks much better than he did when he rolled in. But thank you both for being with us today. I think it's a great opportunity, and thank you for working with the kids. Let's give Buddy a plug.
Excuse me.
Thanks, Buddy. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Cindy, for being with us.
You're welcome.
We'll be back in a minute. And welcome back once again. Again, today's program really focuses on our community connections programs at Bradford Regional Medical Center and Olean General Hospital. All the great work that our managers and staff are doing out in the community. Really, one of our proudest programs between the two hospitals is a program that has to do with school backpacks. It's a school backpack program which takes place in Bradford and Olean. And with us to talk about it is Paula Platko, who's the Director of Women's Services at Bradford Regional Medical Center, and Helen Lehman, who is the Director of Imaging Services at Olean General. That's their day job. Their other job and their volunteer work has to do with this wonderful program. And I'm going to let you folks talk about it a little bit. Paula, why don't you start and talk a little bit about how it works in Bradford, maybe even the origins of the program and how it's grown.
I guess it's been 4 years ago now that it started. When school is in session again this year, it will be the 4th year. And originally we started with just the 2 grade schools that are in Bradford, George G. Blaisdell and School Street Elementary. And we donated backpacks. I believe when we started out, just 50 to each school for children that didn't have a backpack, maybe couldn't afford one, and we actually also gave some school supplies, crayons, pencils, paper.
Right.
And since that time, it's really grown. Last year, we took on Smithport Elementary School, and this year we have added Otto Eldred Elementary School.
So it continues to grow.
Yes, every year we're adding and it's growing. So this year we'll be giving out 200 backpacks just from Bradford Regional
That's
Medical
terrific.
Center.
Helen, how about on the Olean side?
Well, on the Olean side, we've been doing it, I believe, 3 years. I wasn't involved the very first year. I think we kind of followed you guys in suit. And we started out with 2 schools in Olean. And then our second year, we branched out to Salamanca, and this Salamanca and Hinsdale School. And this year, we are moving up to Delavan. So we're going to be giving out a total of 250 backpacks.
Wow, so that's, Mike, I wasn't that good at math, but I can come up with the number 450 backpacks. And that sounds like a terrific idea. I think you brought, Holly, you brought a couple of backpacks with you?
I did actually. These are just a sample of a couple of our colors. I believe there's like 6 or 7 different colors, so boys, girls.
And how do we pack, what do we fill them with, and where does that stuff come from in terms of the supplies? What goes in those?
School supplies. Actually, with speaking with the schools, they kind of give us an idea what they see that the children need. They tell us that they've noticed that a lot of kids don't have regular things at home to do their homework with, like pencils, paper, crayons. So what we do at both hospitals is we ask like departments, like like radiology, would you donate 50 boxes of crayons? And we stuff these backpacks so that the schools.
So it all kind of builds up
Yes.
towards the
Yeah,
end of the
it
season.
does.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what we do. We reach out to the different departments and asking them to donate items. And sometimes we run a little bit short, and what happens is we reach out again. And lo and behold, we have a lot of stuff then.
So at the very end,
At the very end, we
So a lot of stuff.
you have a truckload
We do.
of backpacks
Yeah.
for the schools, and I know that this is very close to our CEO's heart, Tim Finan, who is very, very proud of this program. And I know the staff has been wonderful too in supporting it, and the popularity. And I think one of the things that I've learned about the program is it's done with great respect to the schools and the kids that need help.
Yeah, I think my experience, I know it was last year when I went to one of the schools, the principal, when I brought in the 50 backpacks, the tears melted down in her eyes, and she gave me a big hug and said, "You don't know how many kids this reaches."
It's wonderful.
You know, they're so appreciative of
They're
it.
very appreciative.
To be able to touch a child's life who really needs some help, it's got to be great work. And again, it's kind of like, with our Community Connections program, I call it the closer, but really it's the starter, because it's a fall program, September program, kids are back to school. I know we're still in the middle of the summer, but this is a wonderful little gesture on the part of our staff, and for you two to be helping lead the charge to make this work is great stuff. Well, thank you both for being with us today.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you again. We'll be back in a minute. And welcome back to the last segment of our show. Today's program has been dealing with our Community Connections programs and the many things that our staff, our employees, and our managers do for our community. The last program that we're going to talk about today has to do with babysitting. And our guest is Abby Bowser, the coordinator for community outreach for Upper Allegheny Health System. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us about the Safe Sitter Baby course. And I know this has been something that you've been doing now here for a couple of years. What's going on and how does it work?
Well, we started the Safe Sitter course actually in the fall of 2012. We held our first classes at OGH and BRMC. We started the course through Safe Sitter, which is a corporation that allows nonprofits, hospitals to teach this course. They gave us all of the course materials. They trained all of our instructors, and so we're able to teach through them, which is a great corporation, and we're able to offer it at a great price for the community.
So what do kids learn when they come to the Safe Sitter babysitting course?
They learn, we do teach them choking rescue, they do learn CPR, we teach them all of the child care essentials, but then we also teach them the responsibility of being a babysitter, being a babysitter, having it as their business, raising money, things like that. So we really hope that they gain not only the knowledge to become a babysitter, but become more responsible as they grow up too. So.
And the sessions, are they one-time sessions, two-time sessions?
One-time session.
Okay.
One-time session we usually hold, it's an all-day course, and so there's a lot to cover, but they do only have to take it one time.
It really is an important aspect for kids, especially young adults, I guess, that are going to be responsible for someone else's child, to know some specific skills on how to take care of that kid.
Yes, exactly. So, and we open the course to anybody 11 and older, but of course we teach them different age groups that we think would be most appropriate for them to start babysitting for.
And is there a fee for the babysitting course?
Yep, it's $25 to take the course.
Okay.
All participants get a student handbook and a course completion card for that $25.
And I know we had a course in June. I think there's one scheduled for July. We have one coming up in August, but we have more details on that people can get on the website?
Yes.
Okay. Then they can go to www.ogh.org or www.brmc.com. And this Safe Sitter course is taught both in Olean and in Bradford, right?
Yes, we teach it in both communities, and actually since our first course, we have certified over 140 children.
It's a popular course.
It is a popular course,
Well,
yes.
that's great. Anything else?
No, I think we've covered most of it.
Okay, thanks for being with us, Abby.
Thank you.
And again, for more information, go to the website to register for one of the babysitter courses. They do run during the summer, but they also extend out into the other parts of the year as well. So there's information there. Well, that'll do it for our show, and we hope everyone enjoyed the Community Connections program today. We had an awful lot of guests, and we really appreciate them all coming on and talking about some very, very great work that's going out there in the community. Thanks again for being with us. This is Dennis McCarthy. Have a great day.